What's going on, FG fam? Welcome to another episode of the St. Louis Rams franchise here on Madden 21 Current Generation. We ended the season last episode. Scott Murray, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions on his season. 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for Jamal Carter. Kind of relatively similar quarterbacks in a way. Cam Akers ran for over 1,600 yards and 20 rushing touchdowns. He had an incredible season. Cooper Kupp, almost 1,600 receiving yards, just 6 yards shy, 14 touchdowns. Burley got himself a 1,000-yard year. With only 3 touchdowns, I was a little surprised to see that, but he had himself a very good year. I know there's a lot of Burley fans in the chat. Thank you guys very, very much for your support on this series. Continue to support it by liking it, sharing it. You may not think it helps, but every single click is an engagement, so I really appreciate all of your support. 14.5 sacks for Aaron Donald. Alex Peterson had himself 13.5 sacks this year, and that is a big breakout season for the man. 7 picks for David Long Jr. Ramsey had 6. Jair Alexander had 4. And there was a bunch of picks all over the field by this Ram defense. It really took a step forward, and we're hoping it could take an even better step forward with another offseason under their belt. This is going to be a huge offseason coming up, and it will likely be the final season of the series. Not sure yet. It might actually get some more uploads as well. We might go 2 uploads a week with it. I don't know. We'll see. Format's going to kind of stay the same. Sam Sloman had a great year, 21-21. He did miss an extra point, however. Johnny Hecker had a relatively lackluster year for a guy named Johnny Hecker. And the return game was nothing special. So we'll go over the wild card round scores. The Jaguars get a bare win over the Cincinnati Bengals, 31-28. So they win by 3. Looks like it could have been a last-second field goal. Who knows? They don't give you a scoring summary. Wish Madden would do that. Hey, EA, take notice, please. But Joe Mixon runs for a ton of yards. There's our other franchise team playing quite well, but not well enough to get a win in the wild card round. As you take a look at the defensive numbers, Logan Wilson played really well. Carl Lawson had a couple of sacks. Picks by rookie Demetrius Harden. Very nice playing for the Jaguars. They get the win. A 3-point win in overtime for the New England Patriots as they beat the visiting Houston Texans. So far, all the better seeds getting wins in the AFC right now. And the Patriots get a big win over Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Cam Newton threw for 424. 3 touchdowns and a pick. Man, I'm sure Pats fans wish he would do that in real life. I disagree. I can't stand the Pats, but that's neither here nor there. As on defense, there was a sack and a half for John Simon. They got Patrick Chung in there with a sack. Lonnie Johnson Jr. had a pick for the Texans. Didn't really help him out all that much. And the Browns get the biggest margin of victory win in the AFC wildcard with a 7-point win over the visiting Bills. Josh Allen, 206, touchdown and a pick. Tommy Lee, the rookie, a user rookie no less, 225, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, who will move his Browns along. Austin Hooper had 2 of the touchdown catches. Landry and our boy Robert Woods playing for the Browns now as making a nice little tour through the AFC North. 2 interceptions there for Teron Johnson. Greedy Williams had a pick, and the Browns will move on to play the Chiefs next round. The Pats will go to Jacksonville. In the NFC, a bare win there for Seattle as they win 21-18. Had to withstand a 4th-quarter comeback attempt from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is Brady still playing in this game? We'll see if he retires in the offseason or not. Stanley Dupree, though, that breakout rookie, he's played really, really well for Seattle all year long, including against us a couple of times, and he played pretty well in this game as well. So, as we take a look at the defensive side, a sack for KJ Wright, 1 for Vita Vea, and a pick for Sean Murphy-Bunting, who played really, really well in that game. Then we have our first upset of the postseason. The Eagles go into Lambeau Field and knock off the Packers by 10 thanks to Carson Wentz and his 5 touchdown passes. I'm sure the Eagle fans wish Carson Wentz would play like that in real life, like he's kind of touted and supposed to be doing. Devontae Adams was outgained by a lot of Eagles receivers. And on defense, there were sacks from Fletcher Cox. Dean Lowry got one for Green Bay, and there were no interceptions as both of these quarterbacks played tremendously. Then another slight little upset as the Washington football team is able to beat Dallas on the road. Baker Mayfield didn't even throw a touchdown pass, didn't throw a pick either. Kareem Hunt and Antonio Gibson, along with Oliver Arnold, just rushing the ball all down Dallas's throat all day long. What a performance by the running game in Washington. And then Sidney Jones had himself a pick, and Washington will move on to Seattle. Philadelphia will move on to New Orleans. I love to see that personally. I can't stand Dallas, you know, so now we just need to knock out New England, and I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. So in the next round of the playoffs, 21-14, the score as the Chiefs knock off the Browns. Tommy Lee, this time a negative touchdown interception ratio. Pat Mahomes throws 3 TDs, so he will lead his Chiefs forward. Odell had a big game. Travis Kelce, though, 2 touchdowns. Hard man to stop. Our boy Robert Woods, good to see him continuing success away from our Rams. And on defense, a sack by Olivier Vernon, but that's not enough for the Browns to get anything done, as 3 interceptions by the Chief defense, including Harrison Smith, who is a newer Chief. Jaguars blow out the visiting Pats 27-6, so the Jaguars getting back to the AFC title game and beating the team they lost their last AFC title game. Chad Houza really moving the team along. He was a rookie not too long ago, and he really didn't have a great rookie season, but he's really matured and kind of grown each season, and that's really what you're looking for from a young quarterback. Myles Jack got a big sack in the game. He had 11 tackles and a pick for C.J. Henderson. So the Jags will move on to Kansas City in the AFC title game. The Saints knock off the Eagles and their Cinderella run as Jameis Winston throws 3 touchdowns and an interception. Carson Wentz throws 3 picks and just 1 touchdown. 2 TDs for... Who the heck? I'm sorry. I missed it. My bad. But a couple TDs there. Fletcher Cox had 2.5 sacks, and on defense with the 2 picks for Charvarius Ward, 1 for Anthony Brown. Just a big game on defense for the Saints. Seattle is able to barely knock off the Washington football team, a 1-point game. Baker Mayfield tried his hardest. Now with Washington, 3 touchdowns, 1 for Russell Wilson, but Chris Carson in that running game, 78 and 2 touchdowns from him, and that did enough to get the Seahawks forward. Mike Gesicki now playing with Seattle had a touchdown for sack for Adam Butler. No interceptions on the game. Both quarterbacks stood mistake-free, but Seattle will go to New Orleans, so we've got ourselves a Final Four. Let's see how this thing will happen after we look at Pro Bowlers, which we can actually have Pro Bowlers because we won't be in the Super Bowl. Big sad. Cam Akers is a Pro Bowl starter. Love to see that. Cooper Kupp as well, the #1 receiver in the NFC. Burley makes the Pro Bowl as well. That makes number 3 for us. As we'll continue to look here, I doubt we're going to have any offensive linemen. That's kind of a weak point on the team. I'd really like to pick up some more linemen. Tack McKinley, though, seems like we're revitalizing his career. He becomes Pro Bowler number 4. Number 5 is Aaron Donald. Number 6 is Darrell Cage, the rookie. Kamugrugier Hill makes it. So does Leighton Vander Esch. So 8. We have 8 Pro Bowlers. Jalen Ramsey makes that 9. And so 9 Pro Bowlers for our St. Louis Rams. You'll love to see that. And here we go. We have outcomes for the championship games. An overtime win for the Kansas City Chiefs at home over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 30-24. Pat Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Chad Houza, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So revert back to the old Chad Houza. Helps the Kansas City Chiefs win this game a little more easily. And Kelce with another 2 touchdowns. Can somebody stop this man along the way? Because if you can't, you're not going to win. Frank Clark with 2 sacks. Willie Gay had a pick. So did Harrison Smith. That's another pick for him this postseason. He's got these Chiefs playing well, and it will be another overtime championship game, as in the NFC title game, the Saints are able to get a 33-27 win behind Jameis Winston's 425 passing yards and 4 TDs. So Jameis leading the Saints into battle as he will now lead them up against Pat Mahomes. That is quite the Super Bowl matchup. Dallas Goedert had 2 TDs for the New Orleans Saints. And what a game they just played. Jalen Reeves-Maybin with a sack. Marcus Davenport with a sack. No interceptions. Both quarterbacks played extremely well. And we will have the battle of the 1 seeds in the Super Bowl. We'll see that right after we check these awards. Pat Mahomes winning the MVP award. Cam Akers was actually number 6 on the list, so good to see him get some recognition. Coach of the Year goes to Andy Reid, as, you know, they did have the best record on the season. That's usually how that works. Offensive Player of the Year, Pat Mahomes. Defensive, CJ Mosley. Rookie of the Year, Tommy Lee. Ginger Jacobs, that's another one of you guys out there for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Josh Allen, quarterback. Damian Williams, running back. Alshon Jeffrey, receiver. Ronnie Stanley for O-line. Joey Bosa. CJ Mosley, Pierre Desir, and Greg Zuerlein, rounding out the award winners in the AFC. To the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year is Cam Akers. Love to see it. Defensive Player of the Year, Rashawn Evans, Grugier Hill, and Leighton Vander Esch, as well as Jalen Ramsey, were all on the list. Offensive Rookie, Scott Murray wins it. You love to see it. That's going to definitely help his development. Darrell Cage wins it on defense. So Rams with some award winners. Best quarterback, Scott Murray was not on the list, but best running back, Cam Akers wins that. Receiver goes to Cooper Kupp. Burley was number 3 on the list. O-line, we had no shot. D-line, Aaron Donald and Alex Peterson were on there, but DeMarcus Lawrence wins it. Linebacker, Rashawn Evans wins it. But Grugier Hill and Vander Esch were up there. Ramsey and David Long Jr. are 1 and 2 in DB, and Jair was number 8. So that's fun to see. Sam Sloman gets number 2 behind Zane Gonzalez. And the Super Bowl this year goes to the New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston wins a ring as a starting quarterback. Never thought I would say this series, but 587 yards from the Chiefs, 484 from the Saints. Just an offensive explosion, just a game full of action. 4 touchdowns from Jameis. He didn't even throw a pick. The LASIK surgery works out. Kamara goes for 98 and a touchdown. Michael Thomas goes for 161 and 2 scores. They held Kelsey to 1 TD. And a lot of little guys scoring for the Saints on those 4 touchdowns, minus the Michael Thomas 2 scores. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had an interception in the game. And the Saints get a win, 38-31 by just 1 touchdown. Congratulations to the Super Bowl winners. We'll take a look at the retirees. Malcolm Jenkins is leaving off the Super Bowl winners. Alejandro Villanueva, Marquise Pouncey, Mitchell Schwartz, a lot of great offensive linemen. Brandon Brooks, KJ Wright leaves, Jared Cook, Patrick Chung, Brandon Williams, Riley Reif, Mike Pouncey, Geno Atkins, Russell Okung, Dennis Kelly, Ben Roethlisberger, Sam Koch, Marcus Cannon, Matt Paradis, Tavon Wilson, Richard Sherman, Joe Hayden, Gerald McCoy, Deion Jordan, Bobby Massey, Janoris Jenkins, Jabal Shear, Jerry Hughes, Phillip Rivers finally retires, Nate Solder, Antoine Bethea, Vinny Curry, Chris Thompson, Sean Lee, Donkey Kong Sue, Latavius Murray, Marshall Newhouse, Virgil Green, Levine Toilolo, Case Keenum finally retires, Kurt Coleman, Corey Liggett, Pete Carroll, and Bruce Arians retiring as well. We have some big re-signings coming up. We'll go through all that, as well as, of course, the draft and free agency, and that will be on Wednesday, March 31st, final day of March. Hope you guys can make it. It'll be right here on this YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope everybody will be there. I will definitely be there. This is going to be a fire off season. Taylor Rapp, don't know if I want to bring him back, to be honest. I think we can replace him. He might be one of the weaker points of our defense. Larry Hall, I'd like to bring back. Devontae Buckner, I'd like to bring back. Jamal Carter, I don't know if it's going to be possible at this point. He's at a 71. Somebody might take a chance on him at 24 years old. Calvin Kennedy, I'd like to bring back. David Long, he impresses me somewhat as a slot corner. We might try to bring him back. I don't know that we can. Kamu Hill I really like. I'd love to bring him back. I just don't know if it's going to be possible for us. But make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Continue your support for the series, because it's probably going to be coming to a close just because the views have dipped so far down. But please see this story out till its end. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the content for all things franchise, because that is what we do here in all sports. We can build a winner together. And if you guys want to see some more franchise, make sure that you not only are following my Twitch, which there's a link to in the description below to come see me live, but also click right here to see some more franchise.